All right, so get this. Today, we are taking a deep dive into something most people probably don't think about too much. Garage door repair in Toronto.
Really? I think about garage doors all the time.
Well, yeah, of course you do. You're the expert.
Yeah.
But I mean for like the average person.
Right.
Anyway, we're going to be looking specifically at the website of Prime Repair Team.
Okay.
They are like the go-to people for like anything related to garage doors in the GTA.
Yeah, they're great.
And, you might be thinking, what's so interesting about garage doors? But trust me on this. By the end of this deep dive, you will never look at your garage door the same way again.
You know what I think people don't realize? It's like how much we actually rely on our garage doors.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's not just parking your car in there.
Yeah.
It's part of your home security. It's curb appeal. It can even make your house more energy efficient.
Yeah, you're right. I never even thought about it that way. So, okay, Prime Repair Team, their website is like our main source today. And one thing that just jumps out at me right away is their service area.
Oh, yeah.
It is huge. They cover like not just Toronto, but a whole bunch of the surrounding cities too.
Yeah, I think that's a huge convenience factor for, well, for basically anyone living in the GTA, right? Like, imagine, you're dealing with a broken garage door.
Oh, the worst.
You want someone who can, like, get to you quickly, wherever you are. And having that wide service area, it just takes the stress out of, a situation that is already stressful.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of stressful situations, I noticed that they offer 24/7 emergency garage door service.
Oh, yeah.
I have to admit, I'm kind of curious. Like, what kind of emergency would require a garage door expert in the middle of the night?
Well, I mean, just picture this. Okay, it's like 2 in the morning, you're trying to get to the airport for a flight. And suddenly, bang, your garage door snaps.
Mm.
The door comes crashing down. Your car is trapped inside.
Oh, no.
Not a great way to start a relaxing vacation.
You're telling me. No, that's definitely an emergency. And it makes you realize, like, just how much we kind of take a functioning garage door for granted.
Totally.
And speaking of springs, their website talks about them a lot. Like, are they really that important?
Oh, absolutely. They're like the workhorses of the whole garage door system.
Okay.
So they counterbalance the weight of the door, which is, what makes it possible to open and close it smoothly. Without those springs, you'd basically be trying to lift, hundreds of pounds manually.
Yeah, no thanks.
Not a fun workout.
So I'm guessing, like, the type of spring you need probably depends on your garage door, right?
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the door.
Is there, like, one that's better than the other?
Well, there are two main types. You've got your torsion springs and your extension springs.
Okay.
Torsion springs, they're mounted above the door. They're generally more durable, and they tend to last longer, especially for, like, heavier doors, like your double-wide doors.
Okay.
And then you have your extension springs. They're installed on the sides of the door. Those are more common in, like, older garage doors.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for someone like me who has, a double-wide door, the torsion springs would be the way to go.
Most likely, yeah. They just handle those heavier doors, much more easily. And they tend to last longer, too.
Mm-hmm.
Which could save you some money down the road.
Good to know. Of course, like, a professional from Prime Repair Team could assess my, specific needs
Absolutely.
and, recommend the best option for my door.
Sure.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, now something else that I saw on their website was they mentioned something called smart technology integration with garage doors.
Oh, yeah.
I have to admit, I'm kind of picturing like a garage door that can order pizza. Is that how it works?
Not quite, though. I mean, that would be pretty cool. It's more about, like, enhancing the security and convenience.
Okay.
So think, like, smartphone control.
Right.
So you can open and close your garage door from anywhere. You can check if you accidentally left it open. You can even let, like, a delivery person in when you're not home.
That's so cool. It makes you wonder, like, what other advancements are coming in the future.
I know, right?
But before we get, like, too far into the future, let's get back to some practical stuff.
Okay, sure.
Their FAQ section, it seems to address a lot of the, like, common anxieties that people have about their garage doors.
Yeah.
What's the biggest worry that you see people having?
Noise is a big one.
Really?
Yeah. People are often concerned about their garage door being, too loud, especially if it's attached to their house. But luckily, a lot of those noise issues, they can be resolved pretty simply.
Okay.
Just some, simple maintenance, like lubricating the moving parts, tightening any loose hardware, that kind of thing.
So it's not always like a sign of a major problem.
Not at all.
That's good to know. What about those like horror stories of, garage doors just suddenly falling? I got to admit, that's kind of a fear of mine.
Right. Well, that's where those springs we were talking about before, that's where they come in.
Okay.
A broken spring can definitely cause a door to fall, which is why that regular inspection and maintenance, it's super important.
It sounds like prevention is key here. Is there anything else like homeowners can do to kind of keep their garage doors in tip-top shape?
I mean, just regular visual inspections, that's a good start. Just look for any signs of wear and tear on the springs, the cables, the rollers. Keep the tracks clean. Make sure there's no debris in there. And, if you hear any unusual noises or if you notice that the door isn't operating smoothly, just don't ignore it.
Don't ignore it. Got it. Address those minor issues before they become like huge headaches. Now, how long can you realistically expect like a garage door to last?
I mean, a well-maintained garage door, it can easily last like 15 to 30 years. But, that lifespan, it's heavily influenced by, factors like how much you use it, the quality of the materials, how quickly you do repairs if anything goes wrong. It's kind of like a car, right? Regular maintenance and just paying attention to any issues that come up can really, really extend its life.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, last thing I'm going to touch on before we move on. Prime Repair Team. They mentioned something about custom solutions on their website. What does that even mean? Are we talking like, garage doors with like built-in TVs?
Not quite, though. I bet someone out there has probably tried it. It's more about like tailoring the door to your specific needs and, your aesthetic preferences.
Okay.
So we're talking about different materials like steel, wood, fiberglass. Each of those have their own pros and cons. And then there's the style, right? Like, traditional, modern carriage house, something to match the architecture of your house. You can even customize the color, the finish, the windows, the hardware.
Wow, that's a lot more customization than I expected. So it's not just about like, how well it works. It's about making a statement with your garage door.
Exactly.
All right. So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We talked about how important garage door springs are, the convenience of having a wide surface area, why you might need emergency services, the cool stuff you can do with smart technology, and all of the custom solutions you can choose from.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's clear that there's a lot more to garage doors than, meets the eye.
Absolutely. And we've only just scratched the surface.
That's right. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the fascinating world of garage door springs.
Yeah, wait.
We'll uncover why they're both essential, but, also potentially dangerous.
That's right. They're not something to mess around with.
So make sure to come back for that. So welcome back to the deep dive. Last time we were exploring the surprisingly complex world of garage doors.
It is pretty complex.
From the role that springs play to, all the futuristic possibilities of smart technology.
Yeah.
But let's be real, I think most of us only really think about our garage doors when something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
And when it comes to those oh no moments,
Yeah.
I think nothing is scarier for a homeowner than a broken spring.
Yeah, I can see why.
So let's dive a little deeper into the world of, these garage door springs.
Okay.
What makes them so important? How can you tell if there's a problem? And most importantly, why is it so important to leave those repairs to a professional?
Right. Well, like we talked about a bit in part 1, those garage door springs, they counterbalance the weight of the door, right? So they're kind of like giant rubber bands, basically.
Okay.
They store potential energy when the door is closed, and then they release it when the door opens. And that's what allows you to, lift a door that can weigh hundreds of pounds without too much effort.
Yeah, because those doors are heavy.
They are.
Okay, I'm starting to kind of get the physics of it all. But why are these springs, so notorious for causing problems? Is it just wear and tear over time? Or is there something else going on?
I mean, wear and tear, it definitely plays a role. Like every time you open and close your garage door, those springs are going through this cycle of tension and release.
Yeah.
And over time, that can lead to metal fatigue, which makes them more likely to break. But there are other factors too that can contribute to spring failure.
Like what? What else is there?
Well, extreme temperatures can have an impact. So in really cold weather, springs can become brittle. And they're much more likely to snap. But then on the other hand, in really hot and humid conditions, rust and corrosion can weaken the metal, and that can lead to premature failure.
Interesting. So it's They don't like it too hot or too cold?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, I live in Toronto, so we get, both of those extremes here.
You do.
Is there anything else I should be, aware of?
Um, Improper lubrication can also shorten the lifespan of your springs.
Really?
Yeah. If you think about it, those springs, they're constantly moving, right?
Yeah.
They're rubbing up against other metal parts. And so without proper lubrication, friction builds up, you get more wear and tear, and that just increases the risk of breakage.
Okay, so regular lubrication is key to keeping those springs happy and healthy.
Exactly.
Got it. All right, so let's talk about the signs of trouble.
Yeah.
How can how can a homeowner tell if their springs are on their last legs?
Well, I mean, one of the most obvious signs is if your door suddenly becomes really heavy to lift.
Oh, okay.
So if you're really struggling to open the door manually, that's a pretty strong indication that those springs aren't doing their job.
Mm.
Another telltale sign is if the door slams shut instead of closing smoothly.
Oh yeah, I have definitely experienced that.
Yeah,
That heart-stopping moment when the door comes crashing down. Not fun.
definitely not.
What else should people be on the lookout for?
Just keep an eye out for any visible signs of wear and tear on the springs themselves. So
Yeah.
rust, cracks, any gaps between the coils, those are all red flags that, the springs are nearing the end of their lifespan.
Okay.
Also, if you notice the door is hanging unevenly, or if you hear any loud bangs or pops when it's operating, that's a good indication to have a professional, come inspect the springs.
So basically any unusual behavior, call in the experts.
Exactly. It's better to be safe than sorry. And remember, those springs, they're under a lot of tension, so a sudden release of that tension can be really dangerous.
Yeah. Okay. You've definitely convinced me. I'm leaving, any spring-related repairs to the professionals.
Good choice.
But I'm curious, what does replacing a garage door spring actually entail? What's the process like?
It's definitely not a do-it-yourself project.
Okay, good.
Replacing a garage door spring, it's a really specialized task that requires, specific tools, knowledge, and safety precautions. The basic process is you carefully release the tension on those old springs, remove them, and then install the new springs with the correct tension for, your specific door.
That sounds like kind of a delicate operation.
Yeah.
What are some of the risks involved if someone tries to do this themselves?
I mean, the biggest risk is definitely injury. Like we were saying before, those springs are under an immense amount of tension, and if they're not handled properly, they can snap back with incredible force.
Oh, wow.
And that can cause some pretty serious injuries.
Yeah, like broken bones or even worse, I imagine.
Absolutely. And even if, you manage to avoid injury, you could still damage the door itself or other parts of the garage door system.
Okay, so it's really not worth the risk. Better to call the experts and just have that peace of mind.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say you're facing this broken spring situation. Should you even try to use the door at all?
Absolutely not. If you even suspect that a spring is broken, the most important thing is to just stop using the garage door immediately.
Right.
Any attempt to operate it could, put you at risk of injury. It could damage the door even further.
Right.
Just contact, a qualified garage door repair company and let them handle it safely.
Okay, safety first. I mean, it's kind of amazing how much we rely on these springs without, even realizing it.
It is.
But how long do they typically last before they need to be replaced?
Well, the lifespan of a garage door spring, it can vary depending on things like, how much you use the door, how well you maintain it, and the environmental conditions. But a typical spring will last anywhere from 7 to 10 years.
Okay.
Or roughly 10,000 to 15,000 cycles.
Cycles. What does that mean exactly?
So one cycle refers to a complete opening and closing of the garage door.
Oh.
So if you use your garage door multiple times a day, those springs are going to wear out a lot faster.
That makes sense. So it's not just about time passing. It's about how much you actually use the door.
Exactly.
So someone who, works from home and rarely leaves their house, they might get more life out of their springs than someone who, commutes every day.
That's right. And that's, another reason why regular maintenance is so crucial.
Yeah.
Because it can really help extend the lifespan of those springs and just, make sure that they're operating safely and efficiently.
All right. So we've talked about the types of springs, the signs of wear and tear, why it's so important to have professional repairs, and even how long they typically last. What other crucial insights should listeners keep in mind when it comes to these, garage door springs?
Well, one key takeaway is that, The quality of the springs, it really does matter.
Okay.
So investing in high-quality springs from a reputable manufacturer, it can make a huge difference in terms of, durability, performance, and overall safety.
So you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
It might be tempting to go to the cheapest option, but in the long run, it could cost you more in repairs and, headaches,
Right.
anything else.
Yeah.
And just don't forget about, proper lubrication. We talked about that earlier, but,
Uh-huh.
keeping those springs and the other moving parts properly lubricated, that reduces friction, it reduces wear and tear, and it cuts down on the noise.
Right.
So it can really help extend the lifespan.
So basically, a little TLC goes a long way.
It does.
Great advice. Now, while we're on the topic of, you know, keeping things running smoothly, I want to go back to something we were talking about in part one.
Okay.
Smart technology for garage doors.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty cool concept. But I have to admit, I'm still a little fuzzy on the details.
Sure.
So what exactly does this technology entail? And how can it make our lives easier and more secure? Yeah, it's a great question. Smart technology is, it's really changing the way we interact with our homes. And garage doors, they're no exception. We're talking about things like, remote control, smartphone integration, security enhancements, and even voice control.
Wow.
All these innovations, they're designed to add convenience, peace of mind, and even a little bit of, futuristic flair to your daily routine.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
So let's break down these, these features one by one. Let's start with, remote control. I mean, that's not exactly, a new concept, is it?
Right. We've had garage door remotes forever,
Yeah.
but the modern remote control systems, they've come a long way.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about, sleek multi-button remotes that can control, not just the door itself, but also other features like lighting, security systems, even your car's ignition.
Wow, that's impressive.
Mhm.
What about, smartphone integration? How does that work?
Well, just imagine, you're at work and you suddenly remember, oh no, did I leave the garage door open?
Oh, yeah.
And with a smartphone-enabled garage door opener, you can check the status of your door, from anywhere in the world. And if you need to, you can close it remotely.
Oh, that's peace of mind right there.
Yeah.
No more racing home in a panic.
Exactly.
Wondering if you've left your house vulnerable. And what about security features? How does, smart technology make garage doors more secure?
Well, a lot of these smart garage door openers, they have, these advanced security features like rolling code technology.
Okay.
And so that changes the access code with every single use, which makes it, pretty much impossible for someone to copy your remote signal.
Wow, so it's like having a digital bodyguard for your garage door.
Exactly. And some systems go even further. They integrate with home security systems to give you, real-time alerts if the door is opened unexpectedly
Oh, wow.
or if there's any other, suspicious activity.
So, even more peace of mind there. Okay, last but not least, voice control.
Right.
Is that actually a thing for garage doors? I feel like we're living in the future.
You are. Thanks to, all those voice assistants out there like Alexa and Google Assistant, you can control your garage door with simple voice commands.
That's so cool.
So you can say, hey, Alexa, open the garage door as you're pulling into the driveway.
That is so cool. But, okay, let's get practical. What are some, key things that homeowners should consider if they're thinking about, upgrading to a smart system?
I mean, compatibility is crucial. You need to make sure that the smart system you choose will work with your existing garage door opener.
Oh, right.
Most modern openers are compatible with smart technology, but if you have an older model, you might need to upgrade it or get an adapter.
Yeah, good point.
Right.
I wouldn't want to invest in a fancy new system and then find out that it doesn't work with my old opener.
Right.
Okay, what else should people be thinking about?
Well, security is super important, obviously. Yeah.
So, look for systems that have robust security features,
No.
like, encryption and two-factor authentication.
Okay.
That's going to help safeguard your home network and prevent, unauthorized access.
Yeah, safety first. Any other words of wisdom?
Just make sure it's easy to use.
Yeah.
You want a system that's intuitive and user-friendly for, everybody in your household.
Right.
From your, tech-savvy teens to your maybe less tech-inclined family members.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is to have, a complicated system that nobody knows how to use.
That's true. So we've talked about compatibility, security, and ease of use. Any final thoughts for, our listeners who are considering making that jump into the world of, smart garage doors?
I mean, just do your research.
There are so many different smart garage door systems out there. They all have, their own unique features, different
Hmm.
price points, different compatibility requirements. So, just take your time, compare your options, and choose a system that fits your needs and your budget.
Great advice.
Hmm.
It's easy to get, kind of caught up in the excitement of all this new technology, but you really want to make sure you're choosing something that works for you and your home.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up part 2 of our deep dive, I want to switch gears a little bit
Yeah.
and talk about something that often gets overlooked.
Okay.
The aesthetics of garage doors. We've talked a lot about like, how they work and all that, but a garage door can really like make or break your home's curb appeal.
You're absolutely right. A garage door can take up a huge part of your home's facade.
Yeah.
So, making the right choice, it can really have a big impact on the overall, look and feel.
So let's talk style. What are some of the most popular garage door styles that are out there?
Well, you've got, your classic raised panel doors. They offer that kind of, timeless look with the rectangular panels.
Yeah.
Then you've got your carriage house doors.
Okay.
They're like inspired by traditional swing open doors and they add a touch of like rustic charm.
I like those.
Yeah. And then, for a more contemporary feel, there are modern doors with
Yeah.
sleek lines and those minimalist designs.
Oh yeah, those are nice. I'm picturing like a sleek modern home with, a minimalist garage door.
Yeah.
Very chic.
Very nice.
Okay, what about materials? What are the most common options there?
Well, steel is really popular just because it's so durable
Yeah.
and it's affordable and it comes in a huge range of styles.
Okay.
Wood is nice. It has that, warm, natural look, but it requires a lot more maintenance.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then there's fiberglass, which is, it's lightweight, it's moisture resistant, and it can actually mimic the look of wood without all of that upkeep.
Wow.
Yeah,
So many options. It's like choosing a wardrobe for your house.
it is.
Now, what about custom solutions?
Yeah.
Can you really get a garage door that's tailored to your specific, needs and tastes?
Absolutely. A lot of companies offer custom solutions.
Hmm.
You can choose from a whole range of colors, finishes, hardware, even window styles. You can create a truly unique look. You can even get doors with insulation for energy efficiency or even soundproofing.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like having a blank canvas
Yes.
to create the garage door of your dreams. But
Exactly.
with so many options, it can be kind of overwhelming. So what advice would you give to homeowners who are, trying to choose the perfect garage door?
Well, I mean, first of all, think about your home's architectural style.
Right.
You want a door that complements the overall design of your house, not something that clashes with it.
Right. You wouldn't want to a modern minimalist door on a, Victorian era home or something.
Exactly.
Okay, what else should people be thinking about?
Your budget and how much maintenance you're willing to do.
Right.
Like wood doors, they're beautiful, but they do require more upkeep than, steel or fiberglass.
Mm-hmm.
And custom solutions, they give you more flexibility, but they tend to be more expensive.
Right. So practical considerations are key. Any final words of wisdom on this?
I mean, just choose a reputable company, one with a proven track record. Look for a company that offers a good selection of styles and materials. They provide expert installation and they stand behind their work with, warranties and guarantees.
Great advice. So we've covered styles, materials, custom solutions, and even how to choose the right company. So it's safe to say that garage doors, they're more than just a functional necessity.
Absolutely.
They can be a real design statement for your home. A well-chosen garage door, it can boost your curb appeal, increase the value of your home, and even reflect your personal style. All right, folks, that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive into garage door repair in Toronto. We've uncovered, the secrets of those essential but potentially dangerous springs. We talked about the convenience and the security of smart technology, and we even dove into the world of, style and customization.
It's been a lot.
But our journey isn't over yet.
No, not yet.
So stay tuned for part 3 where we'll wrap things up.
Okay.
We'll share some final thoughts about, why regular maintenance is so important, how valuable it is to choose the right repair company, and maybe even a little glimpse into the future of garage doors. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered so much ground from, how those springs work to all the stylish designs you can get for your house. But before we wrap up our garage door adventure, I want to touch on something that is just so crucial. maintenance. It's really easy to just take our garage doors for granted.
It is.
But a little bit of preventative care can go a really long way.
Oh, absolutely. Regular maintenance is the key to extending the lifespan of your garage door.
Okay.
And it's also how you prevent those costly and, sometimes dangerous breakdowns. It's kind of like going to the dentist.
Oh,
Those regular checkups, they might not be the most exciting thing, but they can save you from a lot of pain in the long run.
yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So what does like a good garage door maintenance routine look like?
Well, you want to start with a visual inspection at least once a month.
Okay.
So check the springs for any signs of wear and tear, like rust, cracks, gaps between the coils. Inspect the cables, look for any fraying or damage. Take a look at the rollers, are they worn out, are they cracked? And make sure those tracks are clean and free of debris.
Okay, so it's all about just being observant and like, catching those small problems before they become big problems.
Exactly.
Anything else?
Lubrication is key.
Okay.
All those moving parts, they need to be lubricated regularly. It just helps reduce friction and wear. You can use, a specific garage door lubricant or even a silicone-based spray. Just one thing to avoid is WD-40 because it can attract dirt and debris.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Uh.
So lubricate those moving parts, keep everything running smoothly. Now, besides, those kind of DIY checks that we can do, should we also be like scheduling professional inspections?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a good idea to have a professional, look at your garage door at least once a year.
Yeah.
They have the experience to spot those potential issues that you might miss.
Right.
And they can make any, adjustments or repairs that need to be done.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like taking your car in for a tune-up.
Yeah.
A professional can like see those problems before they turn into major breakdowns.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about choosing a repair company. There are like so many options out there. What should people look for when they're making this decision?
Well, I mean, experience is key. You want a company that has a proven track record and expertise in, a wide range of garage door types and brands.
Right. Don't be afraid to, ask about their experience and qualifications.
So don't just go with like the first company that pops up on a Google search, right?
Exactly. Do your research.
Do your homework. Okay, what else is important?
Look for a company that offers a wide range of services.
Okay.
Can they handle, everything from spring replacements to opener installations to like custom door designs?
Mm-hmm.
A full-service company can really be your one-stop shop for all your garage door needs.
So convenient. Anything else?
Customer reviews are so valuable. Check those online review sites to see what other homeowners are saying.
Okay.
Pay attention to, both the positive and the negative feedback. That'll give you like a really well-rounded perspective.
Yeah, those reviews can be so helpful. It's like, getting a sneak peek into what it's actually like to work with that company.
Right.
Any like last words of wisdom for our listeners, when it comes to choosing that garage door repair company? Yeah. Just, don't be afraid to ask questions. A good company will be happy to answer any questions you have, address any concerns.
Right.
They should be transparent about their pricing, the services they offer, their warranties. And I think most importantly, they should just make you feel comfortable and confident in their abilities.
Yeah. Choose a company you trust and feel good about working with. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of garage door repair in Toronto. We've uncovered, the secrets of those springs, explored the amazing possibilities of smart technology. We looked at all the different styles and how you can customize your garage door. And we even learned how important regular maintenance is and how to choose, the right repair company.
It's been quite the journey.
It has. And I hope our listeners, maybe have a little bit of a newfound appreciation for these, often overlooked parts of our homes.
Too.
Who knew there was so much to learn about garage doors, right? But as we wrap up, I'm kind of left wondering, like, what does the future hold for these everyday marvels? I mean, will we see even more integration with, smart home technology?
Probably.
Will our garage doors, like, become energy-generating powerhouses? Will they transform into, like, futuristic portals to other dimensions? Okay, maybe that last one's a little far-fetched, but,
One can dream.
Right. But seriously, the future of garage doors, it's pretty exciting.
It is.
And as technology continues to evolve, I think we can expect to see even more innovative features and designs that make things, more secure, more convenient, and more sustainable.
For sure.
So as we close the door on this deep dive, let's take a moment to appreciate our, trusty garage doors, those silent guardians protecting our cars, our stuff, even our peace of mind. And remember, if you're ever in need of expert advice or service in the GTA Prime Repair team, they seem like a pretty good place to start.
They do.
Until next time, folks, happy garaging.